pilot study and for McClure to begin preliminary design of the full-scale process. RFPs did go out. McClure did send those out. 2 responses came back. And I did sign yesterday. The low was Harn RO Systems for $57,850. So they'll be doing the pilot study. Probably start in 3 weeks to start, and it's a 4-month process. So if you remember, I believe McClure's estimate was the $100,000 range. But that included more than just the contractor. That included McClure's administrative cost also. So that it's looking, I don't want to get too excited, but at least it came in under what they anticipated. So within the next 3 weeks, they should be pulling in the skid and getting that stuff all set up to do that study. That's all I had.
Any other questions for Jason?
On the subject of just vacancies in general, I've done a little bit of traveling. I can't go anywhere without seeing help wanted, help wanted, help wanted. Is the city itself pretty stable at where we need to be for our staff? We're not in help wanted crisis.
Everybody always wants more, Mike. They always want more staff. But we're not, yeah, we're at, nobody's screaming for more people.
All right.
We don't have any current openings other than wastewater.
Okay, that's what I was after. Good.
On wastewater, do we want to invite Mr. Wick, Mr. Knapp, Mr. Donovan to participate in that, in the interim? To have 2 councilors?
Okay, so here well, yeah, so here what we have, I mean, so it would typically be the Public Utilities Committee that would sit in on the interviews. So right now, that's just Clark.
Just me. That's just
Because of Ken's vacancy.
And I would personally like another person.
So is there another councilman that wants to participate in those interviews?
What it is, it's gonna be to fill Ron's. But you can do that, you can think about it and get back. I don't want to put him on the spot. I would appreciate another, but that's up to you guys.
Yeah. Okay.
I would do that. I would go ahead and do that.
Any objections to Mr. Wick?
Steve, going on with your chair?
Okay.
Come on, Ray.
Steve?
I don't know if the 2 of them could manage it, but I'll give it a shot.
Quite certain we can.
All right.
Big undertaking.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Steve. I do appreciate that because I know when we did water, it was very valuable to have 2. So, yeah.
Okay, thanks, Steve, for stepping up. Okay, anything else for Jason? Moving on to our finance director.
For today, I was just going to mention, there's been, for a while, we've been talking about that 1.4 million roughly that we're supposed to get. The 1st of July here, the state came out with some more guidance on the funds coming in. They finally requested them from the federal government, and we had 30 days to make our request from the state. We made our request on July 1st, and then we've heard back that they got it. They asked for one additional item that we sent off to them. So hopefully pretty soon here we will have the funds in our bank account, and then we can kind of, and we get half now and then half a year from now is how it sounds like it works.
What can it be used for?
It can be used for revenues that were lost, and then water and sewer infrastructure projects. And there are some limitations on the water and sewer projects. Some of the guidance is still coming out. If it's a project over $10 million, then you have to do Davis Beacon wages on it. If it's under that, you may not have to. So some of the guidance is still pretty fresh, still coming out, but at least we're getting close to getting the funds here.
Good news, good update.
Is it?
That's good.
That's all I have.
Anything else for Jacob? Anything
Probably
else?
even allow you to get police cruisers, but not fire trucks. You know?
Yeah, I knew it said in there, no fire trucks.
Okay, moving on. Mike, do you have any discussions?
Not today, Mr. Mayor.
How about you, Clark?
I guess I'm gonna answer my own question, but can anything be done with the railroad crossing on Fourth Avenue, Fourth Street, 4th Street Southwest, down there by, Bellissimo Coffee? That railroad crossing will shake you out of your, it's unbelievable how rough that thing is.
It's a great place to go if you're test driving a truck and you want to see how it goes.
And none of them pass. There ain't a truck that passes. But I know that sits at
So
an
now-
angle, so I know it's, but it seems to me like the street is a lot higher. I don't think it's really the railroad, I'm sure we need their help, but the street is so much higher than the railroad tracks. And I realize that it is at an angle, so you get to enjoy each wheel like 6 times. I mean, I know, but that thing just seems incredibly bad to me. I'm just wondering if we could check into,
It seems like every few years, we're always doing something
yeah.
with any one of the crossings.
But
On those, Jason, is it the city's responsibility to fix that, or is it the railroad?
The only thing the railroad does is the actual rail.
The rail? So-
Everything, the approaches and everything is on
The
us.
approaches are the city's responsibility?
It would help me out, because on sometimes, and I don't know about this stuff, but sometimes the 6 foot before the first rail and the 6 foot after that are panels that are pre-manufactured by the railroad. So that the 3, pre, the center, and then the last one are all the same. And it just seems to me like our streets are about, and I'm not saying it's, I'm just saying, it seems like our streets are 4 or 5 inches higher. So you hit that railroad and, you know, it's a bear, and I'm just wondering if something could be done.
Yeah.
Or if we could at least open discussions with UP on it and say, is there something? Okay, hey,
Yep.
good enough, that's it.
See what we can do on it.
That's good.
Anything else?
Nope.
Rex?
So I drove around last Saturday afternoon and specifically to look at parks, see how they were, knowing we got all these events coming and stuff like that. And I was amazed at the number of people at every park in our city, every park. There's people at Little League, there's people at Bolzer, there's people at the castle, there's people playing basketball, there's people swinging on swings, there's people using the shelter house at the golf course and downtown. It's, you know, we sometimes sit here and fund money for the parks, and people think, oh, we're spending a lot of money and stuff like that. And I know we brought it up that maybe Cleveland needs to be expanded or whatever like that. I don't know if you just need to expand that one, I think you could expand them all, but the thing is, it was amazing, literally, the number of people at every one of those parks. Every one. There wasn't a single one that had nobody there. In fact, I think at a couple of them, there was people that had one event on one side of the shelter house and they had a different event on the other side because there was 2 happy birthday signs up with different names. So they shared it and everybody was happy. So I just wanted to bring that up and make sure people know that that's happening. But that also causes, you know, streets to do extra things. We got extra trash, we got extra whatever, but we've got nice parks. And they're really being kept up right now. I mean, we have people in the skate park, and we have people all over the place.
How did the gazebo look?
The gazebo had people. And you know, what's amazing to me is some of the people go down there the other night that we drove by too, and there was people on the opposite side of the swing sets, opposite from the gazebo, just sitting out in a bench. Around there. It was obviously a family, but it was 8 or 9 people in the family, and they were just sitting out there because swing sets were all full on the other side. So it's, I don't know, I mean, maybe everybody else does that more often than I do, but I know I hadn't done it for a few years, so I picked last Saturday to do it, and holy mackerel, I was surprised at the number of people. I mean, I'm guessing between Bolzer and Cleveland and the Castle and basketball, there might have been 250 people in that 2 blocks.
I think,
In my rounds last January, it was pretty
I
flat.
I mean, Kevin, you tell me if I'm wrong on some of that stuff. There's a lot of people in those parks that they're not.
There's more people out in our trails, on our municipal park, the pond swimming, they wanna get out this year, and they are out there.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, and that's the other thing. We were trying to fix, are we fixing the docks or the decks or something like that, right now with Johnny Mack out there trying to get
Yeah,
those?
that was poured yesterday or the day before? Must have been
Yesterday.
Monday, he poured it.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's trying to get it done so that he can get his truck out of the way so they can bring down their big RVs and park there and tomorrow, starting tomorrow, so.
Going back 2 years ago, I remember very vividly at one of our meetings, I think it was Clark, you brought that up, about taking a look at all of our parks. You remember that? And here's a proven fact that it's accountable and been done. And you know, the other thing you mentioned, what's all available out there, the parks and the swimming pools and everything. It goes back to the importance of quality of life that people move into this town. And we've got a tremendous quality life program
Yep.
for people who want to move here. And that is important. You've heard me say before, the job is important, the money's important, but you gotta take care of mom and the kids too. And there's an example of what we're doing, and I think it's working.
Seems like it to me, so that was all
Good
I had.
point. Steve?
Just a quick thank you to the municipal band. This Wednesday is their last concert of the summer, and they've done a great job, and I've heard nothing but positives. Every time I can hear them from my house, and it's great, so thumbs up again to them.
You stay awake while they're?
I try.
Hey, Rex, if I could jump back for just a second, but Rex brought up a very good point, but last year, during, 2 years ago, it's all 2 years ago, of course, I got a call from a citizen yesterday about the condition of one of our bathrooms and just, hey, Jason, are we stepping up this weekend with staffing, for monitoring our bathrooms, just keeping them clean?
That one out there, the comment, the thing yesterday?
Yes.
That one, we have a contract with somebody to clean our restrooms.
Okay,
That one gets cleaned Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Okay.
So whether or not they had been there yet on
okay, and that's.
Monday, I don't know.
Okay,
The downtown ones, for Ragbri, if we're talking, they're gonna be locked for Ragbri, not using them. There'll be enough porta pots around, plus, people have a tendency to plug flushable toilets,
okay,
so we're not gonna deal with that this weekend.
Okay.
And that was actually a suggestion that came from Ragbri, to lock them.
okay, okay. So are we locking all the Foster Park too?
Boy,
I mean, you got people
I
saying-
only asked about the downtown ones this morning, Clark, so maybe, I guess I'm not positive on Foster Park ones, I don't know.
Those groups in the other parks are taking care of the bathrooms as a group themselves.
Oh, that right, so it did come up, the Cleveland restrooms did come up, they will be open for, because that's, what are they called, pork belly
Pork bellies.
ventures or something?
And Foster Park has its own group of campers that said, we'll take care of your bathrooms, they'll be cleaner than when we get them.
Okay, okay, good,
They're
good.
with the right.
But, yeah, I mean, so, I don't know if that answers your question, but there's sanitation crews that are volunteers for Ragbri, they're gonna be going. Me too, Rex and I will be checking the porta pots to make sure
I
they're
couldn't get fired from this job.
clean.
Okay, thank you.
Can I answer your question?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Mr. Mayor, I've got a quick question. I was just wondering, with the absence of Ken now, of having resigned from his position, will the council appoint somebody from that ward, or will that ward just be without representation until the next election?
To answer your question, Dennis, number one, we're on top of it, and I'm gonna let Jason handle what we've done so far and where we're at.
So by,
And who has the authority to do it?
yeah, Mike can chime in here too, but by state law, we have 60 days, council has to fill that seat.
Okay.
I mean, so that, what's it, sometime in September, that's got to be filled by. The other option is an election, and that, the only way you do an election if there's a petition by the public to have an election.
But that seat's up for election this fall anyway.
Yeah, it's
Right,
open.
so basically, you're only, when you do appoint someone, they're only gonna be there for just a couple of months then.
To the end of the year.
Unless, okay, till January, yeah.
So the hope
Yeah.
is that we
And then
get
they
somebody
may-
that wants to run.
They may run, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it could be appointed or what was the status on that.
The plan is, and we're looking into it to a point, is the plan.
Can I ask a question? Because I thought it was, whoever was appointed would fill the chair until the election, and then anybody who was elected would then take over immediately. No?
Their term doesn't start till January.
Okay,
1,
okay.
So,
Because they don't raise their hand until January.
Okay, okay.
So it'll be a few months after.
Did that answer your question? Dennis, that answer your
but the
question?
time doesn't.
Yeah, so
I
they,
just wanted to know what was gonna be the situation, if there was an appointment or,
Yeah, no.
I didn't know if it was 60 days or
We've been
whatever.
on top of it for about a week or two now, so, yeah.
yeah, so sometime in September, Dennis, probably,
Okay.
I'm guessing.
Or earlier.
Or it can be
Yeah,
early.
we can-
We have 60 days.
Yeah, that's your
to send
window.
somebody, Yeah.
Any other questions? If not, we're gonna be going into closed session. So-
Make a motion to enter closed session under Iowa Code Section 21.51J, where the disclosure of the discussion of the purchase or sale of real estate would be to the disadvantage of the city.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and second to enter into closed session under Iowa Code Section 21.51J.
Not a lot.
Where the disclosure of the discussion of the purchase or sale of real estate would be to the disadvantage of the city. Do we have a roll call on that, Chris?
Yeah, I don't
Maybe I
know.
could get sick for the weekend, that'd be good.
There you go.
Yes.
Skip out on there.
Yes.
Guys, good job.
Hey.
All right.
Motion carried.